Imagine waking up tomorrow, checking your phone, and seeing that you made money while you were sleeping. No boss. No customers calling you. No expensive office. No years of experience. It sounds like one of those fake internet promises. But here's the strange part. Thousands of complete beginners are already using AI to build tiny digital workers that never get tired. While most people spend hours scrolling social media, these AI tools are quietly writing, designing, researching, editing, and even selling. The biggest surprise? The people making the most aren't necessarily the smartest. They're simply the ones who stopped believing that making money has to be hard. Today, you'll discover why the lazy approach isn't about doing nothing. It's about letting intelligence, not effort, do the heavy lifting. But before you copy what everyone else is doing, there's one psychological trap almost every beginner falls into, and it destroys their results before they even start. Since childhood, we've been taught one simple equation. Work more, earn more. It sounds logical, but look around. Some people work 12 exhausting hours every day and barely survive. Others work a few focused hours while earning 10 times as much. The difference isn't effort. It's leverage. AI is becoming the greatest leverage tool ordinary people have ever had. Instead of multiplying your effort, it multiplies your output. And that changes everything. Think about a shovel. A shovel doesn't remove the need to dig. It simply lets one person accomplish what once required many. AI is the modern shovel for the digital world. The people getting rich aren't replacing themselves. They're replacing repetitive work. Every boring task AI completes gives you another chance to think, create, or earn. And thinking has always been more valuable than typing. Most beginners fail because they ask the wrong question. What AI tool makes the most money? That's like asking which hammer builds the biggest house. The hammer isn't the business. It's only the tool. Money doesn't come from AI. Money comes from solving problems. Faster, better, or cheaper than before. Psychologists call this outcome bias. People copy someone's success without understanding why it worked. They download the same software, watch the same tutorials, buy the same courses, then wonder why nothing changes. Because success isn't hidden inside a tool. It's hidden inside the thinking behind the tool. And AI rewards thinkers far more than followers. Imagine two beginners. The first spends 6 hours trying to learn every AI platform. The second spends 30 minutes learning one tool, then immediately starts helping local businesses save time. One collects information. The other collects income. Guess which person becomes confident first? Confidence never appears before action. It grows because of action. Here's the truth nobody likes hearing. AI won't magically make lazy people rich, but it will make focused people unbelievably efficient. There's a huge difference. Real laziness isn't avoiding work. Real laziness is avoiding unnecessary work. History has always rewarded the people who discovered easier systems, not harder routines. And that's exactly where our next lesson begins. Because the easiest AI income doesn't start with creating something new. It starts with noticing what everyone else ignores. Most people believe money comes from brilliant ideas. It doesn't. Money usually comes from frustrating problems. Every day, millions of business owners lose hours answering emails, writing social media posts, creating presentations, editing documents, and organizing information. None of these tasks are exciting. That's exactly why they pay someone else to do them. AI doesn't create demand. It helps you satisfy demand faster than ever before. The opportunity isn't hidden inside AI. It's hidden inside someone else's daily frustration. Imagine walking into a room filled with people carrying heavy boxes. You could spend months inventing a machine that changes the world. Or you could simply help one person carry one box. Which solution gets paid first? The internet works the same way. The fastest money rarely belongs to the biggest dream. It belongs to the fastest problem solver. AI simply lets you carry more boxes without becoming stronger. This is where beginners make a costly mistake. They search best AI business, fastest AI side hustle, top AI prompts. But almost nobody searches for something much more powerful. What repetitive work are people desperate to stop doing? That single question changes everything. Because businesses don't buy AI. They buy save time. They buy reduced stress. They buy better results. AI is simply the invisible engine underneath. Psychologists have a name for this. Selective attention. Your brain notices whatever you train it to notice. Buy a new car, and suddenly you see that same model everywhere. Start looking for business problems. And suddenly you'll notice opportunities in every industry. Restaurants, gyms, real estate, teachers, doctors, creators. Everyone is overwhelmed. And overwhelm creates opportunity. Here's something fascinating. The wealthiest digital businesses often don't create complicated products. They simplify complicated lives. A business owner who saves 2 hours every day gains over 700 hours in a single year. Imagine giving someone back nearly a month of their life. How valuable would that be? That's what intelligent AI systems quietly accomplish. Not magic, not shortcuts, just multiplied efficiency. Think about the world's most successful bridges. People rarely admire the bridge itself. They appreciate arriving faster. That's exactly what AI should become. Invisible. Your clients shouldn't care how you complete the work. They should simply feel that everything became easier after meeting you. That's when trust begins. And trust is the foundation of every long-term income stream. So before you chase the next trending AI app, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, what task do people secretly wish would disappear from their day? Because whoever quietly removes that burden rarely has to chase money. Money begins chasing them. And in the next lesson, you'll discover why the easiest AI income doesn't come from working harder. It comes from building tiny systems that keep producing value long after you've finished the work. Imagine planting a single seed. You don't wake up every morning and pull on the leaves to make it grow faster. You water it, protect it, then let time do its job. Money works the same way. Most people spend their entire lives chasing the next paycheck. But the wealthiest minds spend their time building assets that continue working after they've stopped. AI makes creating those assets easier than ever before. The question is, will you build another job? Or will you build something that keeps working without you? Your brain loves immediate rewards. That's why scrolling social media feels easier than learning a valuable skill. Neuroscientists call this instant gratification. Your brain releases tiny bursts of dopamine every time something feels quick and effortless. But here's the trap. Fast pleasure often creates slow pain, while slow effort creates lasting freedom. Every hour you spend building an AI-powered system today can save hundreds of hours tomorrow. Think about a vending machine. Someone fills it once. After that, people buy from it all day long. Now imagine creating a digital version of that machine. An AI-written guide, a template, a presentation, a digital toolkit, a simple automation. You build it once, and it can continue helping people again, and again, and again. That is one of the quietest forms of leverage in the modern world. Notice something interesting. The internet never sleeps. While you're eating dinner, someone somewhere is searching for an answer. While you're asleep, someone else is downloading a resource. While you're on vacation, another person is discovering your work. The world has become a marketplace that never closes. AI simply gives beginners the tools to participate in it. Here's a question. If you disappeared for 1 week, would your income disappear with you? For millions of people, the answer is yes. That's because they've built income around their presence, not around their systems. Every hour depends on their attention. Every dollar depends on their time. AI challenges that old equation. It allows small systems to keep creating value even when you're offline. Psychology teaches us something powerful. People overestimate what they can achieve in a single day, but dramatically underestimate what they can build over a single year. Tiny improvements feel invisible until suddenly they become impossible to ignore. One AI workflow, then another. One digital asset, then another. Small systems quietly become extraordinary results. Not overnight, but almost always sooner than people expect. And here's the biggest mindset shift of all. Stop asking, how can AI make me rich? Instead ask, how can AI make me more useful? Because usefulness creates trust. Trust creates opportunities. Opportunities create income. And income creates freedom. The money is only the final result. Value is where the journey begins. But there's another invisible obstacle that stops almost every beginner before they ever build their first system. It's not lack of money. It's not lack of intelligence. It's something much more dangerous. And that's exactly what we'll uncover in the next lesson. There is an invisible prison that traps millions of people. It has no walls, no guards, no locked doors, yet people spend years inside it. The prison is called, "I'll start when I'm ready." It sounds responsible. It sounds intelligent. But in reality, it's fear wearing the mask of logic. The world doesn't reward the person who waits for perfect timing. It rewards the person who starts before they feel completely ready. Because confidence is never the entrance ticket. It's the reward waiting on the other side of action. Imagine two beginners. The first spends 6 months watching tutorials, saving prompts, collecting bookmarks, reading every new AI update. The second learns one useful skill, offers it to one person, gets feedback, improves, then repeats. One becomes an expert in theory. The other becomes valuable in reality. The market doesn't pay for preparation alone. It pays for results. Psychologists call this analysis paralysis. The brain believes gathering more information feels like making progress. But information without action becomes comfortable procrastination. Every new video feels productive. Every new course feels productive. Every new prompt feels productive. Until you realize, nothing in your life has actually changed. Knowledge becomes powerful only after it collides with reality. Think about learning to ride a bicycle. You could read 50 books about balance, watch 100 videos, memorize every scientific principle. But the first time you actually sit on the bicycle, you'll probably wobble, maybe even fall. And that's exactly how learning works. Progress isn't created by avoiding mistakes. Progress is created by surviving them. AI is no different. You learn fastest by building, not by endlessly preparing. Here's something surprising. Most successful people don't have fewer fears. They simply refuse to let fear make their decisions. Fear whispers, "What if you fail?" Growth asks, "What if you succeed?" Fear focuses on embarrassment. Growth focuses on possibility. The voice you feed every day eventually becomes your future. Every successful AI creator you admire today once stared at a blank screen. They didn't know what to write. They didn't know if anyone would care. They weren't certain they could succeed. The difference wasn't talent. The difference was repetition. Small attempts became small improvements. Small improvements became confidence. Confidence became momentum. Momentum changed everything. So before you download another AI tool, ask yourself one honest question. Have I actually used the last one enough to create value? Because success rarely belongs to the person with the biggest collection of tools. It belongs to the person who masters a few. Mastery beats novelty. Consistency beats excitement. Execution beats intention. And the next lesson reveals the habit that quietly multiplies every result you create with AI. While most people never even notice it, most people are looking for one big breakthrough, one viral video, one perfect prompt, one AI tool that changes everything overnight. But real success almost never arrives that way. It grows quietly, invisible at first, just like the sunrise. You never notice the exact second darkness disappears. Yet suddenly, the entire world is bright. Your future with AI works the same way. The biggest results are often created by the smallest habits repeated every day. Imagine improving your AI workflow by just 1% every single day. One better prompt, one faster shortcut, one clearer message, one extra client conversation. None of these feel life-changing on their own. But over time, tiny improvements begin multiplying each other, like snow rolling down a mountain. What starts as a tiny snowball eventually becomes an unstoppable avalanche. That's how momentum is built, not through dramatic leaps, but through quiet consistency. Neuroscience reveals something fascinating. Every time you repeat a useful behavior, your brain strengthens the neural pathway connected to it. At first, creating with AI feels awkward. You stop, you think, you hesitate, but eventually, the same task becomes automatic. The brain transforms repeated effort into effortless behavior. That's why professionals seem fast. Not because they're gifted, because they've trained their minds. Think about learning a new language. The first sentence feels impossible. The 100th feels natural. The 1000th becomes instinct. AI follows the exact same pattern. Your first prompt won't be perfect. Neither will your 10th. But somewhere along the way, you stop asking the AI what to do and start telling it exactly what you need. That moment changes everything because you've stopped being a user and become a creator. Here's a secret that successful people rarely talk about. Motivation is unreliable. Some mornings you'll feel unstoppable. Other mornings, you'll question everything. If your progress depends on motivation, your progress will always be inconsistent. Habits solve that problem. Habits continue working, even when emotions don't. The people who quietly win aren't always the most inspired. They're simply the most consistent. Picture two people starting today. One spends every week chasing the newest AI trend. The other spends every week improving one valuable skill. A year later, the first has collected dozens of unfinished projects. The second has built a reputation. Clients return. Opportunities multiply. Confidence grows. The difference wasn't intelligence. It was focus. Because attention is the most valuable investment you'll ever make. So here's your challenge. Don't try to master 20 AI tools this month. Master one. Use it every day. Solve one real problem. Help one real person. Then improve a little tomorrow. Because extraordinary lives are rarely built through extraordinary days. They're built through ordinary days repeated with extraordinary intention. And now, we're about to uncover the lesson that separates people who stay busy from people who become truly valuable in the age of AI. Imagine two people walking into the same room. The first asks, "How can I make money here?" The second asks, "How can I make someone's life easier?" At first, they seem almost identical. But over time, one spends years chasing customers. The other attracts them naturally. Because people don't remember who wanted their money. They remember who solved their problems. In the age of AI, the biggest opportunity isn't becoming the smartest person in the room. It's becoming the most useful. Here's something most beginners never realize. Money is a side effect. Value is the cause. Think of a doctor. Patients don't pay simply because the doctor works hard. They pay because the doctor solves a painful problem. Now think about AI. Businesses aren't paying for prompts. They're paying for faster workflows, better marketing, cleaner presentations, smarter decisions, more time. Never confuse the tool with the transformation. Transformation is what people happily pay for. Psychologists call this the value perception effect. People judge something by the result it creates, not by the effort behind it. Imagine someone spends 5 minutes fixing a problem that has been frustrating you for months. Would those 5 minutes feel expensive or priceless? Expertise compresses time. AI accelerates expertise. Together, they become incredibly powerful. Picture an umbrella. You rarely think about buying one on a sunny day, but when the storm arrives, it suddenly becomes incredibly valuable. Your skills work the same way. People notice your value when their problems become urgent. That's why building useful AI skills before the opportunity arrives puts you in the perfect position when it finally does. Preparation creates luck, not the other way around. One of the greatest myths about success is that competition is getting harder. In reality, average work is becoming easier to replace. Exceptional value is becoming more difficult to ignore. AI can generate thousands of words, thousands of images, thousands of ideas, but only a thoughtful human can decide which idea truly matters. The future doesn't belong to people who fight AI. It belongs to people who guide it. Think of AI as a powerful ship. Without a captain, it drifts. Without a destination, it circles endlessly. Without judgment, it wastes energy. You are the captain. AI is the engine. The engine may be incredibly powerful, but the direction will always come from you. That's why curiosity, creativity, and critical thinking are becoming more valuable than ever. So here's the question that could change the way you see AI forever. Instead of asking, "How much money can this tool make?" ask, "How many lives can this skill improve?" Because the people who create the greatest value almost always create the greatest income. And once you understand that, you'll never look at AI the same way again. But one final obstacle still remains. It quietly destroys more dreams than failure ever could. And almost everyone carries it without realizing. Let's uncover it together. Every generation has faced a different enemy. Our grandparents fought against physical hardship. Our parents fought against limited opportunity. But today, the greatest enemy isn't lack of opportunity. It's lack of attention. Never before in history have so many people had access to so much knowledge, yet struggled to focus on one meaningful task. The modern world isn't stealing your money first. It's stealing the one resource that creates money, your attention. And once it's gone, everything else begins to fall apart. Think of your attention like sunlight. When sunlight is scattered, it gently warms the ground. But when it's focused through a magnifying glass, it becomes powerful enough to start a fire. Your mind works exactly the same way. 1 hour of deep focus can accomplish more than an entire day of constant interruptions. AI can multiply your productivity, but only if you first learn to protect your attention. Because even the most powerful engine can't move a car without someone holding the steering wheel. Neuroscientists discovered something fascinating. Every time you switch between tasks, your brain pays a hidden price. It takes time to refocus. It drains mental energy. And after enough interruptions, even simple work begins to feel exhausting. That's why many people end the day feeling busy, but unable to explain what they actually accomplished. Being occupied isn't the same as being productive. The difference is focus. Imagine trying to fill a bucket with water. Now imagine the bucket has dozens of tiny holes. No matter how much water you pour in, it never fills. That's exactly what constant distraction does to your potential. Every notification, every unnecessary scroll, every random click becomes another hole in the bucket. Protect your attention, and suddenly your effort begins producing real results. Here's where AI becomes a powerful ally. Instead of spending hours organizing notes, summarizing meetings, sorting emails, or rewriting documents, you can let AI handle the repetitive work, not because you're avoiding effort, but because your attention is too valuable to waste on tasks a machine can finish in seconds. Your goal isn't to work less. Your goal is to think more, because your ideas, not your keystrokes, create the greatest value. Look at the most successful creators, entrepreneurs, and innovators. They don't necessarily have more intelligence. They protect their attention with extraordinary discipline. They know every unnecessary distraction carries an invisible cost. A single hour lost today can quietly become weeks lost over a year. The greatest investment you can make isn't always another tool. Sometimes, it's simply saying no to everything that steals your focus. So here's today's challenge. For just 1 hour, turn off every notification. Close every unnecessary tab. Choose one meaningful task, and let AI handle everything that doesn't require your judgment. You may be surprised by how much your life changes. Not because you found more time, but because you finally protected the time you already had. And now, we're entering the lesson that separates dreamers from builders. Because knowing isn't enough. Thinking isn't enough. The future belongs to those who execute. Have you ever met someone incredibly talented, who never became successful, and then met someone who seemed completely ordinary, yet somehow built an extraordinary life? At first, it feels unfair. But psychology offers a simple explanation. Talent creates potential. Execution creates results. Potential means nothing until it's put into motion. AI doesn't reward the smartest people. It rewards the people who consistently create, improve, and publish. Ideas locked inside your mind have no value. Ideas shared with the world can change everything. Imagine owning the world's fastest race car, but never turning the key. Now imagine driving a simple car every single day. Which one reaches the destination first? The answer is obvious. Movement always defeats perfection that never begins. Your AI tools are the same. The perfect software means nothing if it stays unopened. A simple tool used consistently will outperform expensive tools collecting digital dust. Researchers studying human behavior discovered something surprising. Progress creates motivation. Far more often than motivation creates progress. Most people wait until they feel inspired. Successful people begin before inspiration arrives. Then something incredible happens. Each small win gives the brain evidence that growth is possible. Confidence isn't imagined. It's earned through repeated proof. One completed project becomes the fuel for the next. Think about a blacksmith forging a sword. One strike doesn't shape the metal. Neither do 10. It takes hundreds of steady blows. Your future is forged the same way. Every article you write, every prompt you improve, every client you help, every system you build, looks insignificant by itself. But together, they become a life that others mistake for overnight success. Here's another mistake beginners make. They confuse consuming with creating. Watching another tutorial feels productive. Reading another thread feels productive. Saving another prompt feels productive. But none of those actions create value by themselves. The world doesn't reward what you know. It rewards what you build. Creation is where learning becomes real. And AI becomes most powerful when your hands are moving, not just your eyes. Picture an architect. Before the building exists, there is only a blueprint. Most people stop there. They dream. They imagine. They plan. Builders do something different. They lay the first brick, then the second, then the 100th. Execution transforms imagination into reality. And AI is simply another tool in the builder's hands. So before this video ends, make yourself one promise. Don't leave with only inspiration. Leave with a decision. Choose one AI skill, one project, one person you can help. Then begin today, not tomorrow. Because tomorrow has stolen more dreams than yesterday ever did. And in the next lesson, we'll uncover the final mindset shift that separates people who chase money from people who quietly build lasting wealth. Most people spend their lives chasing income. The problem is, income stops the moment you stop working. Wealth is different. Wealth is built through assets that continue creating value long after you finish the work. Think about it. One AI template, one digital guide, one automation, one online course, one useful system. Each one is a seed. One seed won't change your life, but a forest will. The people who become financially free don't just earn more. They own more. If this video changed the way you think about AI, don't let the lesson end here. Choose one idea. Take one action today. Then come back a year from now and see how far you've traveled. If you enjoyed this journey, subscribe for more videos that combine psychology, wealth, and practical AI strategies to help you build a smarter future. Remember, the future doesn't belong to the people who wait. It belongs to the people who begin. I'll see you in the next one.